up, everyone? My name is Lotus, and I am with
General Spear. What's up, guys?
And welcome to the War Room. This is my podcast. This is a podcast I'm going to be doing monthly. So every month we're gonna have one Saturday set aside just for me and for anybody else. Maybe the General won't be on as much because I know that he has a busy schedule and everything like that. But I'm sure he'll show up when he can. And we'll have more people on here. We'll definitely have Toby. We'll have Bonkai Phoenix back on here. I'm going to try to get Reiner to get Discord so he can actually do this.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, like, the thing is that he has he doesn't have a laptop, which I'm trying to fix. A decent laptop. I mean, hell, I'm trying to get my own decent laptop. But he has phones and he has iPods, but they're filled up with like Japanese like games and stuff like that, and it's like he has no room for it. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Space is like, always an issue, basically.
It really is. It really is. But yeah. So this is the monthly podcast, I guess, and we'll do this I guess every third Saturday of the month.
Something like that, yeah. We got a really interesting lineup for today. We're going to be talking some Shadow of War. We're going to be doing some talking about some of the DLCs and also some of the changes that are happening with that. We are going to be talking about some what's happening with the new game Sea of Thieves and some of the upcoming content that's going to be happening throughout that over the next year. And also we're going to be touching on kind of what's going on with Wolfgar and also all of the Grayclaw clan, so to speak.
And exactly. We're going to be developing the Grayclaw family line within this podcast.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we're going to, or at least we're going to start, because I know it's like, we have like, because Wolfgar's in second era, essentially, because that's where the Elder Scrolls Online is taking part. And then you have the third era where you have, I actually don't know if Morrowind is third era or second era. I think it's early third era, because the fourth era starts right after the Oblivion Crisis.
That's something I'm gonna have to research. And then and then after we touch upon that, we'll be looking into the new game release of God of War, talking a little bit about that. And
as an Xbox user, I normally haven't really liked Kratos' character throughout the first 3 God of Wars. I felt like I related to him too much because I am a person that's filled with rage, and I kind of don't want a person who's just so consumed by vengeance. But it's nice to see Kratos having to grow up in a way and trying to put his past behind him, which I really appreciate how they're doing that. And I love the new voice actor they have for him.
The voice actor is amazing. I love it.
You know, he was actually in Stargate. He was actually in the Stargate SG-1 series.
Yes, absolutely.
He played one of the, he was originally part of the bad guys crew, but then he joined the good guys at the start of SG-1. So.
Yep. So let's get into it. Let's first bring up the Shadow of War stuff. You know, big things happen with that.
So let's review the big elephant in the room. So I have the article from Polygon right here, so I'm going to read it as best I can. And if I stutter or mispronounce anything, please forgive me. Middle-earth Shadow of War's transactions are being removed from the game. Developer Monolith will phase out gold, war chests, and the market. The real money microtransactions in Middle-earth Shadow of War that soured the experience for many players and helped fuel the controversies surrounding loot boxes and full-price video games, kind of reminded me of gambling in a way, are going away. Developer Monolith Productions announced this week that it will phase out the option to buy in-game currency and the ability to gain orc followers via war chests. Now, I actually don't know when this article was released. We'll take a look at that in a sec, but when I logged on, it looked the market is going away. It says so in the game. So, in a statement posted to the game's website, Monolith said that the ability to spend money to buy orcs risked undermining the heart of our game, the Nemesis system. The core promise of the Nemesis system is the ability to build relationships with your personal allies and enemies in a dynamic open world, Monolith said. I'm pretty sure this is Michael who said this.
Yeah,
creative,
this is
vice president of creative. Yeah,
I have the same message on my computer basically, and I'll edit it in here if you guys want to read it yourself.
Yeah, please do. Actually, we'll talk about that once the podcast is done. But let me finish this. While purchasing orcs in the market is more immediate and provides additional player options, we have come to realize that providing this choice risks undermining the heart of our game, the Nemesis system. It allows you to miss out on the awesome player stories that you would have otherwise created, and it compromises those same stories even if you don't buy anything. Simply being aware that they are available for purchase reduces the immersion in the world and takes away from the challenge of building your personal army and your fortresses. Monolith went on to say that it will fully restore the core promise of the Nemesis system by removing the option to purchase in-game gold and war chests. The option to buy gold will come to an end on May 8th. Players who have purchased gold will need to use it by July 17th. With getting the Shadow War session campaign and repeated counterattacks from fortress defense missions. The Endless Siege update released these last November will still be available. We'll also be incorporating many other gameplay improvements that will be detailed in further build notes, including Nemesis system updates, new player skins, skill tree additions, gear system upgrades, and progression updates, just to name a few that we're excited about. More details about the forthcoming change are available in a fact published by Monolith. And of course, I'll leave the links to all of the articles in my thing, and I'll send them to you, General.
Absolutely.
When Middle-earth: Shadow of War was released in 2017, we criticized its use of microtransactions and saying that they felt like an unwelcome alternative to grinding endgame content. When you run out of in-game money, you have two choices. Make a huge time investment by hunting down orcs in your game world and earning chests via vendetta missions, or spend some real money to get the more powerful orcs you need now. Does the game ever force you to spend money? No. I'm sure you can get to the end of the Shadow Wars without spending a dime as long as you're patient and persistent, but locking progress through this mode and again towards the game's secondary ending, either behind either spending more money or doing tons of tedious busy work, feels at least greedy if not predatory. Middle-earth: Shadow of War updates to the in-game economy and its Shadow Wars will be free, Monolith said. So that's the end of the article. I have to say, it's nice to see a developer actually taking the steps to getting rid of loot boxes entirely. You know?
And that's one of the things that I've always liked about companies like Monolith and, everybody else that really listens to the community and the developers and kind of listens to the community and kind of brings that into the development of the game. We've seen this problem before with, infamously the Battlefront 2 release with EA. They've gone back and forth on loot crates altogether. They've now officially gotten rid of them. With how much back and forth they've done, there's no guarantee that they are coming back. There's no guarantee that they are. But to have...
I think it's also because various countries like the United States have pretty much made it that it's a form of gambling.
Yes.
Illegal gambling, essentially.
Yes.
It's like, and maybe the laws haven't been passed yet, but the fact that they're in the House and the Senate is enough to make it, if not companies do it willingly, to force companies to rethink the policy.
Absolutely.
And I think it was a good idea to really view this as illegal gambling. It was like, and this is one of the things that really aggravates me about EA. It's like throughout their entire history, they have done everything they can to just make more money while screwing the players over.
Yeah.
They've closed down. They've done everything that's best for business, but not best for the game industry in general. And
that I think comes with the fact that I think they don't have a clear vision of what kind of games they want to do anymore.
They just do everything.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Basically.
And it's kind of annoying because you have because they have so many great they had Visceral Games. Visceral Games was responsible for the Dead Space series.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was a good series. I have both Dead Space 1 and 2 on my Xbox One. I don't touch them that much because they scare the crap out of me. But it's but they were really good games. I watched Markiplier play all three. It was a great experience.
Well, I think this is also a different situation, too. EA had to respond fairly quickly, even before the release of Battlefront 2, about the whole in-game currency issue and also the loot crates options and everything. Monolith kind of introduced this concept fairly early on, and even though it was in a single-player setting and you could also do multiplayer within Shadow of War, you had the ability to still build up the in-game currency and everything, and maybe not use the loot crates as much.
Whatever gold Mirian I earned, I usually did by completing challenge. I usually earned by completing.
Absolutely, same thing.
I rarely spent a dime of my own money in Shadow of War because the majority, because I would save up a bunch of money. All my fortresses are upgraded. They're guarded by really powerful guys. It's and I didn't really need much else. The only reason why I really just built up my garrison was just in case.
Absolutely.
I needed to just send out some shock troops really quickly. It's nice that the option was there. And I'd say that I've spent the majority of 2 million silver Mirian. But I have 2 Marauder fortresses. I'll spend 30,000 silver Mirian. I'll build that back up within a day.
Absolutely.
Just by hunting treasure orbs.
Absolutely.
By doing Nemesis missions. It wasn't really that big a deal to me,
Well, that's the thing too, is that with Shadow of War, there were options and ways that you could build up the Mirian currency, the in-game currency that they have. If you wanted to buy the loot crates, with actual physical money, you could, but you didn't necessarily need to. And I also feel like with what Monolith has been doing with this announcement, is they've really been kind of taking the time to see what players were thinking with this. And it seems like they've been very methodical about this. Yeah. EA with Battlefront 2, on the other hand, kind of going back as a counterexample. Again, they didn't have a whole lot of time because this hit them even right before release. And even still, it's hitting them now. But the other thing too is that, and they're probably still needing to adjust this, is that the way you earn credits in that game, how it initially started was you got kind of a base amount, and if you were MVP of a match, by some example, if you were that good, you got basically more or less the same amount of credits than if you completely nerfed the match. They've luckily fixed that now, but the credit earning options are not as widespread as people would like, and I think that's something that EA would really need to focus on.
Meanwhile, in Shadow of War, the more you played, the more Mirian you earn.
Absolutely, which is completely logical. It's completely logical
because you're running into more powerful enemies. You have more powerful allies that are doing Nemesis missions. You get more Mirian. Or you run into treasure orcs, which you just I like to brutalize treasure orcs.
Oh really, yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, it's so. Oh, and I'm running, and it's the first time in Shadow of War that I'm running a pure necromancer. Pure necromancer build because I'm doing the necromancer ring wraith build. Let me tell you, I have not had this much fun with any build in a long time. I would never do it in Skyrim because Skyrim, it just makes it tedious in a way. It's like, oh,
Absolutely.
it's like, because I can't raise more than one dead thing at a time, and it's like, and as soon as I try to raise another, that thing goes down, which annoys me because you see actual master necromancer and stuff raising more than one.
Yes.
You know, it's like, and it's like, what the hell? But I mean, like, when it comes to Shadow of War, I chain stealth kill like 5 dudes, and at least 3 or 4 of them get back up as my reference. I'm like, this is awesome. You know, like, I can do this. I like this kind of necromancer. The more hands-on necromancer.
Absolutely.
Literally, hands-on.
Speaking of what will be awesome, let's go ahead and segue into our next, thing with Shadow of War is the new DLC that's coming out, the Desolation of Mordor.
I have something right here from RPG site.
Oh, so, I got that up too.
Oh, you want to read? Then
I'll read it.
Read it
sure. So this comes from the RPGsite.net, and it's Mordor DLC arrives in May, so next month basically. It's written by Brian Vitale on April 2nd of this year, and it goes like this.
Actually, before you do that, I should actually find out when the last article was written.
Sure thing.
It was written April 3rd, so like a few weeks ago.
So there was an update. Okay. So the one that I have goes like this. Monolith announced last week via a Steam update that Middle-earth Shadow of War will get its final DLC update on May 8th, titled Desolation of Mordor. The second story-focused DLC will put layers in the control of the Gondorian Baranor as he explores the eastern deserts of Mordor, which is really, really cool. I like that concept a lot.
And actually, you know what? In the base game, it actually I've heard it's going to open up a new region for us to conquer.
Yes. So details are pretty thin, but the full update from the Steam post can be found below. The details and timing of the release match with what was originally announced for the game's expansion pass. The Desolation of Mordor story expansion includes a new story campaign, new side missions for featuring Torvin, which I think is the
dwarf from the first
dwarf.
Game.
Yes,
I'm glad that they're bringing him back.
I'm glad too.
He was fun.
Yes,
it was fun.
New human mercenaries and bodyguards. New region of Mordor, the desert of Lithlad, and new beasts, the werewolves. Play as Baranor, the captain of the Tower of Minas Ithil, and travel deep behind enemy lines into the eastern deserts of Mordor. Raise an Easterling army to open a new front in the Shadow War. Rendezvous with Torvin, the epic dwarven hunter who journeyed deep into the desolation of Mordor in pursuit of worms. We've got a few guides, details of the game's DLC packs over the game's hub. Our original review on the game is here. I am super excited for this for a host of different reasons.
I have not played the Blade of Galadriel, mostly because it has not interested me. Because it's like, oh, great. You know, we got another person who's banished from death. Great. All right. Whatever. Baranor, though, death has really real consequences. Now, that intrigues me.
Absolutely.
Because I have not played a game. I've not played a Shadow of a Middle-earth game where death has had real consequences.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really interesting.
So you got Baranor, who we of course meet in the main campaign of Shadow of War. In the main
campaign, and we help him all throughout.
Absolutely. So. We got Torvin, who shows up in the first game, and also is a part of, I think, the Hunter DLC pack, right?
Yes, he is. Yes.
But what also really intrigues me is the region in which they're going to, the Easterling region, the desert of Mordor. This is a region that we've not even seen in the movies.
It's barely talked about in the book.
And barely talked about the books. And the only glimpse of the armies that come out of that region, the Easterling region, the Rune, basically, is basically at the Black Gate. From what I remember correctly, that's the only time.
No. The Easterlings actually came out with the elephants and stuff like that. The Easterlings and the Haradrim during the siege on Minas.
That's true. So what I wonder, with, of course, more information provided, is are they going to be focusing on the desert region to the south, or are they going to be focusing on the desert region to the east?
Yeah.
Because the south is...
Well, the thing is that if you take a look at the in-game map, like, even before we knew about the desolation of Mordor, before we saw that there was a region that was blocked out and was permanently red and we couldn't go to it. That is Lithland, and it looks like it's in the southern eastern region of Mordor. It's right below Staragoth and Nirn.
Yes.
So it's like right below Nirn. So it's like it's connected to the Nirn region and the, I think, the Gorgoroth region. It's not Seraph Ungol. Seraph Ungol is next to Gorgoroth. But it's like, it had been permanently blotted out in the game, and that intrigued me. I was like, man, I hope they release this as a region you can conquer. Lo and behold, it's going to be a region that you can conquer.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be cool because I think I remember them saying, Mike DePlatter saying in the main game that you'll actually run into Baranor, but as Ringwraith Talion, and there's going to be a cutscene when you conquer. And he's gonna be like, "What happened to you?"
Absolutely,
you know. And you're gonna you're not even gonna remember. And apparently, Talion is gonna be at the point where he doesn't even remember Baranor's name,
right,
but he remembers his face
because he's basically full Wraith mode at this point.
Yeah.
What really intrigues me though is the potential for the stories that can come out of the Easterling region, and specifically learning more about them.
Because we're gonna have Uruks and Ologs that are gonna have like Easterling influence in them. Like we've already seen certain Uruks and Ologs that like you know, whatever of Lithland, where you see them have like strange Easterling blades and strange Easterling like armor pieces and stuff. But they appear in like other parts of the region. So this is gonna be interesting to see a region filled with Uruks that most of them are gonna have influence from Easterling lands.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be interesting.
And I think it's going to be really interesting too because, you know, they've done this for the last few games, the last few DLCs now of the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games, is that they've always had lore components. And I'm really interested to see what the lore is going to be like for this Easterling region, because we don't know, we've not ever known a whole lot about this region in particular. We know that it has powerful armies that are loyal to Sauron, but that's about it, really.
I mean, like, if you've read the Silmarillion, and it's like Lithland Mordor itself doesn't even get mentioned until like near the end of the Silmarillion.
Yeah, and so Lithland is like a very small clip, if any, of that book. Yeah,
because there's like I actually have a map of Mordor hanging up in my room. And I've seen the Sea of Nirn, and I see all those regions. I'm like, I know these regions now, but now I'm going to learn more about Lithland. So I'm interested to see Monolith's take on Lithland. I'm interested because this is not going to be 100% lore friendly, which is something that people like my dad, who are lore purists, don't like. They didn't like the fact that an elf could turn into a wraith, because apparently in the canon that can't happen.
Right.
But he doesn't like the fact that that a new ring has been forged, because that just throws the rhyme out of proportion. It throws the basis out of proportion.
You're countering power with power, and of course, as we've seen in the game, it doesn't work out too well.
Absolute power corrupts. It
does.
And it's
quite literally.
Quite literally, yeah. So, I mean, like, but the thing is that my dad doesn't really like the fact that, you know, Olog High exists, because he says it makes no sense. Because trolls are not supposed to be able to run around in sunlight and stuff. I'm like, but they're not trolls. They're a breed between trolls and Uruks. He's like, but that wasn't mentioned in the book. So I'm like, would be happy it was meant.
It would make logical sense, though.
Yeah, it would. It would that Sauron would try to fix that. Fix the Liquid Hive. You know, like, seriously. You have, like, normal orcs, and then you have the Uruks, which are the ones you fight, you know?
And then
which are the captain.
Let's briefly talk about these new beasts that are going to be involved. These werewolves or something like that?
I've never heard of a wereworm. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That is a new phrase to me.
Or wire-worm or whatever that's... I'm assuming it's...
It's wereworm. It's... Hold on, I have the article. Let me
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna let my cat in at the same time. I'll probably put the article up here too.
I'm on the wrong article. There we go. All right. Wereworms. Wow. Yo, I have to say though, these wereworms look like they ain't gonna be a joke.
Oh, good God. I'll probably post a photo up here in a moment, or in the edit.
Have you taken a look at what's behind him? If that's a wereworm, I'm not looking forward to that boss fight. I'm really not.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
That's a big worm. That looks like it's gonna be an interesting boss fight. I mean, like, we fought a Balrog. We fought a Balrog. So, I mean, like, after that, I mean, like, the only reason I haven't touched the Blade of Galadriel DLC is because I don't like Eltariel as a character. I really don't. You know, I really don't like her as a character. To me, she seems very full of herself, and it definitely showed, dude, and what happened at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything for those of you who haven't played the game.
Absolutely.
Because those of you who haven't played the game, absolutely play it. It is worth it, and if anything, wait for it to be on sale. Because, like, the gold edition will be like $60 if it gets on sale. Or something like that. Like, it's worth
Which is
the buy.
worth it, yes. Absolutely.
It's worth it, because I've already put 70 plus hours into Talion, and this is the fourth time I've been playing this game. I've been playing Shadow of War, and every time I've discovered something new. I've had something new, stuff like that. But I've never completed the Shadow Wars until my fourth playthrough.
So yeah, dude, these wereworms are no joke.
Yeah, they look like they're gonna be, and here's something that you can edit out in your copy. These are gonna be a to fight.
Basically,
these are not gonna be fun. You're gonna need a small team to take that down. Honestly.
You know what they remind me of? Have you ever played? Oh, what was it? Was it Jedi
Academy?
2? Jedi Academy? Yeah. Remember that
Jedi Knight?
Remember that desert planet? Yes.
Starlight. That's exactly what I thought when I saw it. So this is definitely. I don't know if wereworms actually exist, but if they don't, then they must have taken in the actual canon. I don't think they do, but they must have taken some inspiration from Star Wars to make these things. Because these things look nasty.
Oh yeah, they're just. And of course, and you have the Easterlings running around trying to get you at the same time. It's like, oh, great,
and the Uruks at the same time. So
yeah.
It's just like it's gonna be a fun time.
And you're gonna be somebody who, in which we were talking about before, death is gonna be a real consequence.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real thing.
You know, Talion through Celebrimbor and, the Blade of Galadriel, they're able to, respawn kind of thing or whatever. This is a mortal man. In which, if death happens to him, that's gonna be, like, tragic.
It's gonna be something where it's probably gonna, like... I mean, there's no way that they're gonna kill you off. You're probably just gonna be knocked out. Yeah. But, I mean, like, you might actually have a life system. Where you're gonna have five lives per campaign, and when you finally die, and then
I can't remember what game this was, but I could swear to this. Apparently, there was a game rumored at one point, made a number of years ago, in which it had all the difficulties, easy through like their legendary or hard difficulty, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Their hardest difficulty, if you died at any point in that game, You didn't restart at a checkpoint. You didn't restart the level. You started the entire game over.
Again.
Yeah. I hope that's not what they do here, though. If
really
that's
hope.
a hard difficulty, I'd be intrigued to try it.
I'm literally playing this on easy. I literally play Shadow of War on easy, and it's still challenging at times.
Yeah.
So but I know that if I die, I'll just respawn. This will add a new level of stress because
Absolutely.
it's like I have to invest in the fact that I'm probably not going to come back from this. I might need to run away, actually. You know, like,
gotta have a little bit more strategy involved.
Yeah, exactly. But this might actually utilize squad tactics.
Yes.
Because you're gonna have you're probably gonna have more bodyguards than anything. So, you know, it's probably gonna utilize more okay, you go over there, we're gonna set up an ambush. Because Baranor was good at that. Baranor was good at that when he played in the game. So.
Exactly, and I'm gonna be intrigued to see how Monolith has that worked out and everything, because we're literally less than a month away from the release at this point of the DLC. So they're probably just doing final polishing at this point, but I'm going to be very interested to see how that entire strategy works out, because he is this strategist in the main game, basically. So
well, I mean, but let's go to another. Let's go while we're on the Shadow Wars and stuff. Let's go back to that, because they've mentioned that they're going to be doing some more stuff for Endless Siege. Endless Siege is essentially like after you beat the Shadow Wars, all that stuff. After you get the true ending of the game, you're able to go back into the game world and pretty much do whatever.
Yeah.
Endless Siege was something that was added, but it wasn't added in the way that I wanted it to be added. Because the way that Endless Siege was added, it was integrated into the game world. And I kind of didn't like that. Because the way I wanted Endless Siege to happen was I wanted to be able to craft my own fortresses that I could either assault or defend, and craft my own armies that are either attacking or defending, and be able to maybe put war chief. You remember what they did with the Nemesis Forge in Shadow of Mordor? This is exactly, I wanted this to be a separate game mode, where and the way I wanted it to happen was that, you know, you'd be able, because I really like the trash talking at the beginning of every Fortress Siege.
The trash talking is my favorite part of every siege.
And I'm really upset that the Online Conquest doesn't have that. But, you know,
what's really fun, and I actually have this set up in one of my fortresses. I have a Marauder war chief for, I think, Surgost or whatever it is.
Oh, and, so an Overlord, you mean?
Yeah, an Overlord. And he is a bard. So, like, whenever he does trash talk, it'll be in song. It's absolutely amazing.
So this brings up, so I was hoping that they would actually do that. That they would allow you to, like, handcraft your own armies, your own, like, fortresses. Maybe you'd be able to, like, put, like, they'd go to your army screen and bring, like, a whole bunch of, like, different characters and stuff.
Setting up war games, basically.
Essentially, yeah. Endless Siege was going to be more like a war game than anything. And I would have liked that. I would have liked that a lot. You know, because I would have neglected the entire game entirely. I would have just been doing Endless Siege, and I'm sure other people would have been doing that as well. You know, but I like the fact that Endless Siege is something you have to earn. That's a game mode you have to earn.
Yes, I am actually okay with that.
I'm okay with that as well, because I would actually prefer that than anything. I don't want that to be, like, available right out the gate. You know, but as soon as you beat the game, boom, there you go. And it'd be cool that while you could choose which Talion assaults, either the Talion of Calibrimbo or the Ringwraith Talion, or defense. And it'll actually change it so the ring is either the new ring of the new ring or Isildur ring. So,
right.
Oops, spoiler right there. Dum. We'll put a little spoiler mark right in there. Boop. we'll edit one right there, or you could probably like put like spoiler on my mouth and then like and then block out what I just said.
Basically,
so, that'd be fun. Hey, that'd be something we could do for like future things. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
For future war rooms, that'd be fun. Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. We could talk about this forever. We need to move on.
Absolutely.
We got at least an hour and a half left, really.
Something like that.
So that's not bad. So I'm sure we could find new things to talk about.
Oh, sure.
Because this. But let's go to. Do you want to do Sea of Thieves or do you want me to? Because I have an article on the new updates of Sea of Thieves, but since this is more your forte,
sure,
maybe you should take it.
I'll work on that. So yeah, Sea of Thieves, if you're not familiar with it, is one of Microsoft's newest releases. It released a few weeks ago, basically, to Xbox One and Windows 10. You're basically put in this multiplayer world, open world, basically, on an ocean map, and you're going around looking for treasure. And you are able to do treasure trading, if you will, with 3 different factions. 4 technically, but the 4th one is more so for skulls. But you get currency out of that you can use in game. For like different ship upgrades, you could do various decorations and everything to both your ship and your character. You also have the ability to do 2- and 4-person crews, with the rumors of also having 6- and 8-person crews on the line as well. Some of the new DLCs that are coming out later on for that, the first one coming out this spring, has to do partly to do with having some new AIs, as well as unlocking an entire island region altogether. Later on, we'll also be seeing a new ship altogether as well. Some also additional AIs and everything. So Microsoft is basically adding DLCs to further expand and also further grow the game at no additional cost.
That's pretty good. You know what this kind of reminds me of? This reminds me of Skull and Bones. You remember that Ubisoft pirate game?
Yes.
This reminds me. I've seen the art style and stuff. That reminds me of a more cartoony version of what they were doing with that. I like Skull and Bones better though, because it looks more gritty, more realistic, and it's taking more from the from Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You know, because I didn't even give a crap about the assassin storyline. I literally spent the majority of the game just assaulting shit.
Sailing, yeah.
Just sailing. Upgrading my ship, upgrading my home, my own personal town, Iguana Bay, you know, just like, and that's not a spoiler, by the way, because this game has been out for 6+ years, so
something like that.
If you haven't played it, you need to play it. You know, that's the thing. Assassin's Creed is a great series. The only problem I have is after Assassin's Creed, the first one, free running got fucked. Literally,
you had
it was like
to work.
The first Assassin's Creed was awesome with free running. It's like Altair did what you wanted him to do. It was like he read your mind. It was like, I'm just gonna climb up. I'm gonna scale up this building and then jump over there. What
but for the games afterwards,
scale up the building, jump over there.
But for a lot of the games afterwards, whenever you did free running, if you hit a button, just tapped it
in the wrong way. You're doing it. Oh, and this would annoy me with tailing missions, especially.
God.
Because it's like, it's just like, it's like, I'm just gonna jump on top of here and then jump into this bush. No, Ezio literally jumps, woo, does a somersault right into the guys he's tailing, sort of raising his hand, doing jazz hands and doing ta-da, you know, like, seriously, it was like, and it's gone on and on and on. Like,
basically,
I have raged more at free running in those games than I have anything else.
I think the worst one for me was Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh God! Oh, by the gods!
Syndicate.
That game. That game was so bad.
Syndicate kind of fixed the free running problems that was in Unity, but not fully.
Yeah.
But free running in Unity was just like, oh, why is this even a thing? And you parkoured in free mode as well, which that was new to them at the time. And I was like, this is not fluid. This is like, I'm gonna fall if I hit the wrong button, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall. And it's not like I have parachutes like Ezio.
No, absolutely not.
No, they got rid of all those things. Definitely not. Why would they continue having parachutes? You know what I mean? It was like parachutes were so useful because if you jumped off a really tall building instead of doing a leap of faith, you could at least pull a parachute, land safely.
It's because they didn't have parachutes. It's because they didn't have Leonardo da Vinci. That's my argument there.
Made no sense. It was a great gameplay mechanic. They should have kept it.
I know. I know.
For 3 and 4 and stuff like that. Like it should have become part of the assassin's arsenal. That really should have been. You know, like screw the double blades. I want a parachute. You know, and they could have improved it. Right?
Though
like
I will say, when you didn't have the double blades in. I can't remember if Rogue had a double blades or not, but I know Unity, and I know Syndicate didn't have the double blades.
They didn't really have them as much as they should have, because you still kind of had because you had the gauntlet essentially in Syndicate, and you had a little mini hidden blade in your right hand that was mainly used for stealth attacks and actual combat.
Yes.
You know,
but what I like is how they bounced it out for Origins. How they balanced it out for Assassin's Creed Origins. You had the one blade, but you still had to work it like you did in the first game. You know, to actually get that kill with that single blade, basically. And I liked the mechanics of how they did that.
I like the ability. I like that they put a skill tree, because you're essentially the first assassin ever. You're one of the first assassins ever. So it's like.
And they reworked the level up system too, which is really nice.
It really was. It really was. It was. I mean, I'm from seeing gameplay from your live stream sessions.
That's a beautiful game. It's a really beautiful game.
It's a gorgeous game. Oh man, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of color. You know, I'm not used to that much color in a
the map itself is huge.
Playing it the last time I was over his house, I saw a map. I was like, oh my lord! Mm-hmm. By the gods, that's a lot of places.
Absolutely,
that's a lot of regions. He did a beeline, because as soon as he got the game, as soon as he was able to get out of Siwa, he made a beeline for the Final Fantasy Blade and Shield. And he went through, and I liked how the various areas, it didn't enemies didn't level with you. There were areas that if you went into, you were dead. Literally, you had to run away.
Yeah.
There was no way you're gonna get through. There was no way you were fighting these dudes. They could knock
you. Had to train in order to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And he made the mistake of actually, and there's a reason why the Final Fantasy area is in a high level area, because those weapons are meant to be used by high level players. Mm-hmm. You know, because they're really good weapons. They really are.
They are.
And but Jose. Oh, block that out. Block that name out. Block that name out.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. So, yeah. It was.
By the way, the name that I said, that they don't block that name out. So, thank you.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. Back to Sea of Thieves. From what it sounds like, at least from what the developers have come up with as well, they're kind of going along what Monolith was doing. Is kind of listening to the public, seeing what can be improved. There was actually a video in which they were talking about the DLCs and also talking about some of the improvements that are going to be going on in the game over the next few months, is that they are looking for it to be very much a community-involved project, kind of giving feedback and everything.
Those are usually the best kinds of video games, when communities get involved.
Absolutely, and given that this is a open-world multiplayer game, like you can actually see other characters and whatnot on other ships, and really kind of interact with them, or fight with them and everything. But it's it's still that community-based zone that you don't really see in a whole lot of other games, at least nowadays.
You know what this reminded me of? You appeared on my friendly conquest in Shadow of War, your fortress in Ernest.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty decent fortress. I took it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I disrespected the hell out of your overlord too. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I literally didn't even kill him. I made him go deranged.
I'm gonna come back and he's gonna be crying at my feet.
Well, luckily the stuff that you do to another players, your stuff actually doesn't transfer into.
Yeah, I know, which I'm glad, but still.
Because if I had known that, I would have. Because if I had actually known, like, if certain things, like if you could like actually make like one of your friends like Udrix or Olags go deranged or something, then like I wouldn't do that too. I would have just straight up killed him. But because I knew it, I was just like, I even recorded it. I recorded it on my Xbox. I've yet to send the footage to you. I also killed like two Uru captains that had killed you multiple times. So that just goes to show, and I just did that yesterday. So,
but again, community projects there basically. Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Like I like how game people, like companies like Bethesda, companies like BioWare, companies like Monolith and Microsoft, even like the big publishers who are also creating games at the same time. They actually listen to community feedback. You know what I mean? They listen to community feedback, and sometimes they go with it, sometimes not as much as they should, but I like that ever since the loot box controversies, they've actually been listening to players more and more, because now more and more players are not inclined to play their games.
And kind of touching on the loot boxes real quick, this has been an argument that has been going on for a number of years now. The whole loot boxes and everything. That started in MMOs, really. Yes. But it really, of course, skyrocketed with the release last year of Battlefront 2 because of how big a controversy of that was. That kind of put that whole idea on the map, and it's really kind of being talked about more. I mean, like, I remember I saw something. I saw WatchMojo.com. They did a video of 10 most expensive like in-game items and that you would actually have to use real currency for. And I think in World of Warcraft there's this blade that costs the equivalent of $10,000 real life money. And it was like, and apparently a small select number of players have that blade. And I'm like, you just shelled out $10,000 for an in-game item. Are you serious? Yeah. I could have used, like, see, if I had $10,000, I'd be using that to buy an apartment, I'd be putting that in my PayPal to buy, like, equipment and stuff like that. That's what I would use $10,000 for. Not for one of these in-game items. Absolutely. I rarely buy, like, in-game items. I rarely buy in-game items with real money. The only time I do that is in Fallout, because with the Creation Club of Fallout, at least they have decent stuff. Yes. And stuff that I'm not able to get in mods. I'm not actually able to get in mods as much. Thing with Skyrim is that they've released a camping, they've released
they've released? I just heard the ice cream truck. It's Are you serious? The ice cream truck is out already? Oh, dude. But it's like, but in Skyrim, in the Skyrim Creation Club, they have stuff that I already have through mods. So I rarely do that, you know? They have backpacks. Guess where I can get backpacks? A variety of mods. They have camping. Guess where I can get camping? Same place where I can get backpacks, actually, in Campfire. Guess they have survival. Guess what? I can make survival with Campfire, with iNeed, and with Frostfall. All four, and any subsequent mods that will go with it. I can make survival mode for free. It's simple.
Basically.
I don't need any of that. I didn't buy it. I got it when it was 100% off. I got survival, and apparently it's just a new game mode. And it's like, that's stupid. They don't even integrate it into the game as much, you know? Like, what the hell? So, you know, it's like, so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really need it. So,
makes sense.
I mean, like, in Fallout though, I bought all the dog skins because I like making dog meat look different.
Oh yeah.
I actually was rolling with a dark blue-eyed short hair husky for him.
That sounds cute, actually.
I fell in love as soon as I saw that mod. I was like, downloading it. Oh, I don't have enough space. Goodbye. Mine. That's the beauty of mods, really.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk then about since we're going kind of the Bethesda route, let's talk about what we're doing with the whole Grayclaw clan.
Clan Grayclaw. So those of you who don't know, I actually have to redo my Drunken Dragon playthrough because it just got out of control. Like he probably saw, like, when I looked at my skill tree and it just went out of control. And that must have been
skill points. He had skill points in this area and this area, basically all across the map, basically.
And which I shouldn't have had to begin with, but it happened because of mod conflicts mainly. And then
those mod conflicts.
And then Sophia wasn't working correctly. A bunch of mods weren't working correctly because I had been playing a different character, and it was just like, you know what? I might as well just start fresh. You know, it's like I'm already way too overpowered, and it's just season 1. It shouldn't be like this right now.
Word to the wise, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever play with mods like myself or Lotus here, expect problems.
Oh yeah, no. Problems will happen. Save early and save often.
Yes.
And the quick save function is your friend in most cases. Use that function.
It's why to this date, for all the time that I've been playing XCOM 2, I've never done a modded Iron Man campaign because it's gonna crash. Not. It's gonna crash. And yeah.
No, I don't play XCOM as much as I should, mostly because my computer won't run it as efficiently as yours. Because I'm just on like a crappy desktop. But it's like even I know. I've seen Gopher vids, and he's even talked about that. And he's like, yeah, not doing that. Nope. So, yeah, he's like, so it's like the people who do the modded Iron Man campaigns are like the crazy people of YouTube.
They're troopers.
They're troopers. They're the crazy ones of YouTube, because I've seen like Christopher Steele or something, whatever his name is. If I find his channel, I'll link it in the description.
The one I watched is actually Christopher Odd.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, he does the legendary Iron Man modded campaigns. I can't even wrap my mind around that.
I want to know what his system is.
I still remember when I found your channel back before I had a channel. When I found your channel, it was because I was looking up XCOM 2 videos, and your playlist for XCOM 2: The Clone Wars Season 1 came out.
And I mean, like, other YouTubers, and I was researching this.
And you did that on Rookie.
Yes.
You did that rookie, and it was still challenging.
Yes. That was so that was kind of going back to that. If you have not seen the series, that is my very first ever time playing XCOM 2. I played the first one before it, numerous times, so I kind of had a feel for the mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
I had no clue what to expect in this game, so I was kind of going in blind. So as I was playing the series, I was also watching other YouTubers, Christopher Odd in this case, and kind of learning, getting a gist of what it was.
I actually remember when we did the Galactic Empire, and then you finally, and you introduced my character into the roster, and you brought him on, and you were just like, and I remember you were in a tough spot, and my character, I think, was a ranger or something. He was using a shotgun.
I forget what it was.
A ranger or a trooper, and he essentially like. He was like, all right, Lotus, let's see what you can do. You sounded very unsure of yourself in this situation. He popped out of cover, shotgun blast, took out a sectotoid, got 12 critical. I remember that. You were like, okay.
It's like, here we go.
And from that moment, at almost every shot that my character in that campaign landed, he got it. He either killed them in one hit, or he got
significant damage.
Damage. Like, I was a critical master. You didn't even know. I remember you were just like, all right, I need to look at if there's a mod that's causing this. So you were like, I was like, look, it's my character. It's Lucky. Of course he's gonna be like that. Of course he's gonna be a badass. You kidding me?
I want if there's ever like the developers that did the Long War 2 mod, which I want to do a series of them at some point. I probably will. It's intense. There's so much going on, and one of the things, if they ever make a Long War 3, I want there to be a luck tree, like a luck thing.
Where you can, the more points you, like, the more criticals you get per round.
Because there's health, there's aim, there's will, which helps a lot too. But I think there needs to be a luck component somewhere in there. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Lotus Lucky Synchro. That's what you should have named me.
Firaxis, if you're watching this.
If you ever, like, seriously, I remember I submitted a Spartan for your new Halo campaign.
There's literally maybe about 100 submitted characters.
Jeez, I was one of the first, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I think I was one of the first. Yeah. Because it was like, I think it was like as soon as it was like 2 hours after you put the video out, I saw it on my feed. Because I was watching some other videos.
Well, the thing that I'm going to be having, this is kind of also spoilers for what's coming up, and also kind of answering some questions for people at the same time.
Here on
Exclusive! If you've been watching this far,
okay, that was funny. Because there's some people that might have already left at this point.
Probably. So, the whole idea for this campaign is going to be specifically Spartans. I'm not focusing as much on the ODST stuff. So, if people have submitted ODST, I'll give them a Spartan equivalent kind of deal.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
But a lot of the questions I've been getting is, are there going to be like, any canon, Spartans or anything like that, or like, people that we've seen in Halo. And I feel like
Master Chief and Noble. I feel like Master Chief and Noble 6 should be in it, but they should definitely get the leader perks. They should definitely get those.
Yes. So the most that I would do, and I'm actually also really considering doing War of the Chosen for this series. I've been thinking about that.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And one of the reasons why I've been doing that, I've been researching War of the Chosen as well, is there's a squad. There's a squad system and a buddy system in there, which I really like a lot, and I want to kind of utilize that in the campaign with the different individuals. So, like, we'll have Noble Team being like one squad. We'll maybe have Blue Team being another, with Chief involved at the helm of that squad. But then, kind of for the rest of the characters, kind of seeing how they interact and everything. So they'll have their individual squads, and that's something that I kind of like, and that I kind of liked when we did, especially the Mandalorian series, how much community involvement was done in that, and this game DLC kind of enables that progress to kind of go further with that idea. So that's kind of where I'm headed, and I've been researching mods that have been going well with War of the Chosen that I want to utilize for this campaign as much as I can. So it's looking like a pretty done deal on that front. But that's kind of what to expect as an overall view. Is the ice cream truck back again?
It's like every video I do, there's always something in the background. There's always something. My mom lives next to these people who are some of the most annoying people on the face of the planet. They constantly take our parking spaces. Even though we've been here for almost 2 years, almost a year already, for just about almost 2 years actually. They blare their music at the top of their at the very top from their cars, which sounds like shit, obviously, because they don't have good sound systems. You know, like their dog constantly tries to get at our dog, even though our dog could technically like rip it apart. She's still kind of a scaredy cat.
Absolutely.
And it's a Chihuahua. I could literally punt that thing back into its like thing, and I've almost gotten close to it. Like, because the Chihuahua has come out at me, and I've just kind of looked at it, and it just backed away, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, yeah, exactly. So, and then it was just like, we've literally had to tell them, stop parking in our space, stop blaring your music, stop doing all this stuff. We work, we do things, they still do it anyway. We've complained to the landlord. Luckily, these people are moving very soon, so.
Well, there we go.
Well, there we go. Hopefully they don't get replaced by more annoying people. So hopefully, but this is Connecticut. Connecticut is one part. There's parts of Connecticut that are like rich, snobby people, and then there are parts of Connecticut where I live where I literally have to walk around with a weapon on me at all times. So.
Yep. I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you live in
California.
You live in California. You live in like a pretty decent area of California, I
think. Well, the area I live is
that laugh. That's never a good laugh.
The area I live is decent enough, but I'm also not that far away from indecent areas as well.
Ooh.
There's definitely been some history of, you know, significant crime and, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
I don't live all that far away from, I mean, I'm across the bay from Oakland, basically.
Oh, dude. Ooh, Oakland is a bad area.
I will never go there. I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to a Warriors game. I'm sorry for people watching in the States, you know, Warriors, but I will never go there because of how bad it is. That, like, I've always wanted to go.
See, if you
never go.
If you ever want to go, you're gonna have to get a plane ticket for me so I can go out there with a few people, so that way we can actually protect you, because me and my friends have combat experience and you probably don't. I used to fight all the time in high school. I've trained in MMA and stuff like that.
Nice.
I'm kind of neglecting on my training a little bit, but I've started to. I'm like a little bit overweight, kind of bad, but I'm getting back into it. I've told my friend Chris, and he's gonna put me on a regimen as soon as I get this ingrown toenail out of my lip. So, yeah. Not fun. It's really not fun.
So let's
back to what we were talking about beforehand.
The Grayclaw clan. One of the things that I have trouble with this, because I started a while ago, and I really need to get back into it. Is kind of the ancestor of what the Drunken Dragonborn thing is.
What Ragnar will be, right?
What Ragnar will be. So that's Wolfgar Grayclaw. It's taking place in the
Second Era.
The Second Era. For those that aren't involved that much, the Elder Scrolls Online game, basically. There is a lot involved with that game. And in ways, I'm going to be honest here, I don't like it nearly as much as, Elder Scrolls, like Elder Scrolls 5, basically. The traditional Skyrim, because of how involved that character is with the story that's going on. Like, it leaves out... I feel like it leaves out a whole lot of individual character development. Like, it gets in the way of doing that and roleplay at the same time. So, trying to balance both figuring out the roleplay for that character and also doing the story and moving the story along, it's a juggling act, quite literally.
I mean, like, meanwhile with Skyrim, I can plan out exactly what my character development is going to be, and I can just roll with it.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing in Morrowind and Oblivion. Same thing. Speaking because I feel like that I could take so I mean like and I Morrowind Aldor. I think the Claw would be important enough. So, that kind of thing. And obviously, and I would be like the only Grayclaw that ever did in spades. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, hold on a second. There's a lot of...
General.
Hello?
Yours frozen. How's... Oh, there you are. That's scary.
It's skipping a lot right now, basically. Oh, good lord. There we go. You there?
Just about, yeah. Oh, wow.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the war. I mean, like, it's the war. It's Sanglia Luna. We're full of technical difficulties.
Can't avoid it.
So, but I was thinking, like, Bjorn would be the only member of the Grayclaw family that would have been inducted into the Blades,
Yeah.
Because he's the hero of Kvatch, and so part of the storyline is that you get inducted into the Blades. And I was thinking, for Baldur, that he'd be the one that would start the tradition of the Grayclaw clan being primarily in Legion. Mm-hmm. So he would be part of the Legion in Morrowind. So,
yeah, I can see that working. I mean,
yeah,
it's like what I was talking about before. I've been watching your Drunken Dragonborn series and learning about Raynor and figuring out, okay, what kind of
Ragnar. Raynor? You're talking about StarCraft there for a minute there, my friend.
Ragnar. So
Ragnar. It's like Ragnar Lothbrok. You'll get it right eventually. If I have to hammer it, if I have to tattoo it on your head with the pronunciation, I will do it. and I won't do it like the mechanical way. I'll do it the way they do it in the Alps with like the toot, which I want to do, by the way. that's something I want to do. That's absolutely it. That's a tattoo I want to get. So,
but I mean, watching that series, I have a really good idea of what that character is evolving into being.
Yes. Yeah.
The question is, and this is like what I was talking about before, is how do I translate and write out a character basically that could be a feasible ancestor to.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with the fact that this is Ragnar's in the 4th era, and he knows about Wolfgar. He's the progenitor of Clan Grayclaw. But the thing is that so much has been, and he knows that he was the Vesage and stuff like that. But at this moment, that's the only thing Ragnar knows about. Those are the only thing Ragnar knows about. So this gives you leeway into developing Wolfgar in a way that you want to, and then I can translate that into my new Drunken Dragonborn series, because I really need to
what I may do is to get really effective on this, I may watch gameplay on just the campaign and see where I can put snippets and actually write out a role play,
an introduction to him. Yeah,
absolutely.
I was thinking of doing the same thing once I get the software. So absolutely,
and I feel like actually recording that might be better than streaming that. I'm not sure, so we'll see. We'll definitely see.
We'll definitely see. I still like the idea of you live streaming it while you're role playing it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, speaking of live streams, you were supposed to live stream Skyrim.
I was.
What happened? You even put out an update saying that you would try to live stream every Friday. I was looking forward to that live stream. I really was.
Life has been life.
Crazy. Life has been crazy.
Life has been life.
Preaching to the choir here. I just got my 2nd certification in CSS3, which is awesome. But at the same time, I'm also dealing with family issues. Mainly, I don't want to get into too much on here. Obviously, it's but it's definitely done something that's not good for my mental health. So I'm dealing with that. Luckily, I'm seeing a new therapist, and I work really well with her. I'm seeing her again this Tuesday. She's awesome. Julia, if you're seeing this, thank you for being so good. I'm sure she's never gonna see that, but it's like. But it's like I'm sure it's like I'm pretty. Oh, that would be weird, wouldn't it? If we get big and she's just like, yeah, I was his therapist. Oh, this kind of reminds me
weird
of this kind of
in the comment section.
I know, right? Seriously, that'd be weird. But this actually reminds me. I'm planning on going to RTX next year, and in Austin of all places, because I want to start building up contacts with Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter and stuff like that. So I want to start asking how big my channel would have to be in order to be inducted into the Let's Play family. And like I said, I wanted to make a channel with you as well. And a few other people like General Dave, or as he's known as now, Ranger Dave. He has so many names, it's ridiculous.
I feel like he has about 1,000 different aliases or something like that.
I know, right? He's great. He's High Admiral Dave. He's General Dave. He's I don't know what he is. I don't even remember anymore.
He needs to scale it back a bit, literally.
I hope he doesn't take offense to that. If he sees this, I hope he doesn't.
Oh, good lord.
I do want to, have you heard of this channel called Watch Girls Play?
Yes.
I actually talk to Sydney on a regular basis on Twitter. Yeah, I talk to Sydney on a regular basis on Twitter. And she has actually expressed interest in being on the War Room.
Wow, fan-flippin-tastic. That'll be awesome.
I know, right? It's so great. Awesome. That's awesome. And, you know, it's like, and I know that Watch Girls Play has had a lot of controversy happen to them in the past. You know, from and I think it really all started with Stephanie, really, that started to rip the original girls apart. But it's just like, but I mean, like, it's, like, they're doing much better now. They got new group, you know, it's like, still got some of the originals, but I mean, like... They're doing solid. They're doing really well. They're doing really well. I mean, like, despite everything, they're doing really well. And, of course, Drea is doing her own thing and stuff like that. And
check them out if you haven't already. Latest
for real. Link them. Yes. We're going to link them in our individual videos. Yes. Yeah. So, do you want to make this into a podcast as well for yourself as well? Yeah. The War Room?
I'm fine with that.
So in case I can't do it, like, you could still do it with another member of Sanguine Luna Productions, like Toby or something like that. Oh, trust me,
I'm gonna be editing the heck out of this one. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, so, considering, let's see, how many swear words have I used already that need to be edited out? About 5.
Technical difficulties, you know, that kind of thing, you know.
I would ask you to for my edit, you leave the technical difficulties in, because that's what my channel's known for. Sure. Technical difficulties.
Sure. But I'll just have the standard TV colorized screen with like, you know. Yeah,
exactly. That'd be fun. And then you have to block out that name that I let slip by accident.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll tell you what name to look for. So, but you know.
So let's segue into our last subject. God of freaking War.
Dude.
The game is amazing. It's got like 95 out of 100 on like multiple critics channels and everything.
I mean, like, I've never been a big fan of Kratos. I've never been a big fan of God of War. But I have to say, having a Greek demigod literally live in, like, a Nordic... in Norse mythology now is really, really cool.
Because for those that don't know the whole mythology and the concept of that kind of God of War, you have the God of War who is known as Kratos, who is related.
He originally killed the God of War, Ares. He was originally his servant. Then he killed him, became the God of War, and then got pissed off again and just went on a god-killing rampage. Even released the Titans of all things.
Absolutely.
On the gods.
And so, I can't remember where in the storyline, but basically in the recent release of God of War, we find Kratos living in the Norse world, in Norse mythology. So, Odin is at the helm of that. We have Thor coming up. We have, you know, a bunch of different characters. We even have various Norse characters within the game actually show up as well.
Yeah, like part of the mythology and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Like the World Serpent is in it, which is pretty cool. We've had Freya appear in it. But it's cool because Athena actually appears in the game as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to reveal where. But it's definitely pretty cool.
But what's also really cool is that you watch this character who's otherwise been kind of a character you couldn't really connect with, all of a sudden have to step up to the plate because he's raising his son, who we had not known about before in previous games. He is a completely new character, Atreus, that is. Completely new character to the God of War series. We've never known who this was before. So it's going to be really interesting to see that father-to-son relationship evolve when Kratos, this individual, has been very distant from family altogether in past games.
And he's basically trying to learn how to be a father all over again. Because he had a daughter and he had a wife, and then they got killed. So he became so consumed by rage he even forgot their names.
Absolutely.
And I guess he took a Norse woman as a wife, and I guess she must have softened him up. I really think so. it must have really softened his heart a lot.
Well, when we open the game, basically, it's basically Kratos in this home with Atreus, and we have essentially the funeral of his wife taking place. And we can only assume that the home that they are in, they've been in for a while, because Atreus has been there for most of his life. We can only assume that, given he's maybe about, like 7 or 8 years at this point, we can assume that they've at least been there that long. So
and
Kratos...
they introduced this new mechanic called Spartan Rage, and it's kind of cool because Atreus actually almost pulls it off in the game. Mm-hmm. He almost pulls it off a few times in the game, which is pretty cool. That he's like, I think he also has some Norse god powers as well, which makes me think that maybe this woman was also a Norse demigod. Mm-hmm. I don't know who it is though. Nobody knows who it is.
No,
not yet. I'm sure it'll be revealed in time. But
yeah, because that's the thing. There's a whole lot of backstory that
we just don't know.
We just don't know.
Even from playing the game in its entirety, even from doing like the side quests and stuff, we just don't know everything. Mm-hmm. And that brings a new life to the God of War series. Mm-hmm. It really does. And I like the new gameplay mechanics. I really do.
I actually like how, because I never played the first two. I did play a little bit of the third one.
I played all three on a friend's console. I was so not impressed.
But I noticed from just a pure gameplay mechanic and standpoint is that there's a lot more fluidity in this most recent release. There's also a lot more emphasis on battlefield tactics, meaning that you got to actually dodge and block a little bit more.
Which makes me think that just shows how that Kratos has gotten wiser with age. That you actually have to think about that now.
Yes.
That he's actually, that he's not blindly rushing things anymore. He's actually using tactics and stuff, like using.
And also how he's had to basically keep his anger in check, for the sake not only of himself but also for his son, because his son, at least at the beginning of the game, he thinks that this is a normal life that he's living in. He does not know about his heritage, his quote true nature as a god or a demigod. He doesn't know this yet. And Kratos himself has never told him about that past and everything either.
But I think the wife probably knew. Probably knew.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's absolutely crazy. It's a gorgeous game. It's an absolutely gorgeous game. It hits all the points.
Yeah, it's by far, and as somebody who follows the Norse pantheon, it's a nice ode to the gods in a way.
Yes,
it's a nice ode to them.
Yes, absolutely. Nice fusion between
even if you're killing them technically, it's still a nice thing to see.
It's a nice fusion between Greek and Norse.
and I like how Kratos really tries his best not to kill gods anymore, because he realizes now the consequences for killing gods, really.
Absolutely.
Which he didn't realize till the end of the third game. And it was just like, it was one of those things where you thought he was dead, and then you saw the after credit scene where you see a trail of blood where he literally crawled off the cliff and shit. And you saw that, and it was like, and you actually see like on his stomach where he was pierced that last time by the sword of Olympus. So
yep. So overall, great game. Get it today.
Get it today. Yeah. I actually want to talk about, before we end the podcast.
Sure.
Since we got like a half hour left, I wanted to talk about a game that I've been playing a lot more recently, with Toby and people like and Far Cry 5.
Yes.
Far Cry 5 is by far one of my. It's my first dive into the Far Cry series. Actually playing it. I've seen the other games and I like the other games. I've played this game to completion. And it's just one of those things where it's like...
Yeah.
Like, the ending. Like, the ending. Like, every end... Like, both endings at the end of the game are still technically bad endings. There's the bad ending, and then there's the what the hell just happened bad ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just like... And, you know, as you're playing the game, it's like everything you're doing is just like, it's like a seal. You know how it's like the father always says, like, a seal has been broken and stuff like that. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, you don't really think much of it until the end of the game happens.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's like, you don't, it's like all the things that he had been saying don't register in your head until you see what happens at the end of the game. And then, because I'm really trying not to spoil it, I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the entire game is like that, basically. It's like, it's this series of...
Especially face region. Especially face region. Because face region really messes with your head. I did that region
It's this series of what the hell is going on moments.
Yeah.
All combined with these story and a bunch of side quest missions. There are so many side quest missions, it's not even funny.
And there's still, and me and Toby, we literally spent 2 hours fishing in the game at one point.
Yeah.
We were just standing on a dock fishing. The rest of Hope County. The rest of Hope County needed to be saved. We were just fishing. We didn't care. We were like, exactly. That's what we were doing. We were just like, whatever. Like it's like we don't really give a crap. We're here fishing, you know. Like people are asking us, are we just gonna stand here all day? And we just go up and like Jess Black is like, so are we just gonna stand here all day? And we just literally pull out our guns and we're like don't interrupt the man's fishing time.
Yep.
But definitely get the game. Definitely get the game.
That's another one.
That's another one, and I can't wait for you to get it on Xbox because then we can play together. Because then we can play together. That'll be fun, yeah. And it'll also be fun once I have a capture card and you have a capture card for your Xbox. So I'm pretty sure you could probably connect your Xbox to your computer and record from there anyway.
Yeah, there's a way to do it. There's ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that myself. I'm gonna look into that myself because that might actually be easier than doing the Xbox Live app method. You know, that might help improve the quality even more.
Yes.
So you know,
yes.
you never know until you try.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I think that's the end of the podcast. I think that's the end. I think that's the actual end of the podcast this time. We tried to do this once before, for those of you who don't know, on my end, and I used OBS, it lost all the footage. I only had 8 minutes of that 2-hour segment. It was like, I was like, I can't put this out.
Oh,
you know?
Yes. iMovie I had a lot of trouble with recently. For those that don't know, I was doing a tutorial series on my ARC Trooper build, and I did about 7 or 8 episodes worth of recording in terms of the different parts and assembly.
Oh, I remember seeing an update on your channel.
I lost
all of them. Jeez.
I had up until the forearms, which is the most latest video, and gone.
Yeah, OBS is good for streaming. It's not good for recording.
Yeah.
Definitely invest if you're gonna be recording actual videos. Definitely invest in something like Bandicam.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the end of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining me, my co-host.
No worries. No problem.
I guess we'll be co-hosts now.
Yeah.
We'll have to do this every month. We'll have to have more people in on it. You can bring people in. I'll bring people in. we'll have to really do this though, because this is if this is not going to be a monthly podcast, it's definitely going to be a bi-monthly podcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Knowing your schedule and knowing my schedule, it's like, and then we have to take into account other people's schedules. It's just like, you know, if it's not monthly, I think monthly is probably a good goal to go for. You know, it's probably a good goal to go for, because then you can actually have the leeway of planning in advance.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
well, I mean,
like,
and we'll get other channels, like, you know, the gals we were talking about earlier, you know?
Yeah, no, Sydney on here would be awesome.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm sure we could talk about all sorts of video game news with her and stuff.
Sure
you know,
thing.
like, and it's like, and they actually have a new illustrator who's also part of the group. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Yeah,
I've seen some of her work. It's awesome. It's really awesome.
It really is. But and also, I need to talk to you about next month doing a commission for my channel's logo and banner. I have a few ideas, and we can talk about that off the podcast, since I have you on here right now.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I'm gonna end it right here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck this far, if you stuck around with us this far of hearing good job, very good job. You know, it's like you're definitely the kind of people we want around.
Absolutely.
Just listening to two small YouTubers basically ramble on about video games and other stuff, and it's just like, it totally get off track as per usual. I like how you take a sip of your cup as we say that, as I say that. But anyway, I guess I should just end the video. So thank you all. So I think I'll do my intro first. I'll do my outro, and then you can do your outro, unless you want to do it first.
No, you go ahead.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. Every like helps. Make sure to comment your thoughts and opinions and what you want to see more of in the future, and what people you want to see more of on the War Room, because that's what we're calling this, the War Room.
Yep.
And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Sangui Luna Productions and become a Legionnaire. So, and now you can do your outro.
Sure thing. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate it, as well as Luna St. Crow. Yeah. Feel free to comment in the comment section, share your thoughts, share your ideas. Feel free to also suggest different topics that we could talk about in future podcasts and everything. We want to hear what your thoughts are and get some community involvement with that. Feel free to Hulk smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to comment in the comment section as well. If you're new, do not forget to subscribe. And as always, may the Force be ever in your favor.
And until next time, this is General Lotus
and General Spear. See you guys.
Signing off. Bye, guys.
Bye.